Talking with the experts.
Explore how to conquer self-sabotage with Kelly Resendez and unlock the potential of your business and personal wealth on our latest podcast episode, 529.
And that's why I believe a lot of business owners fail, is that they're in scarcity to begin with. And as you know, it's a challenge to grow a business. It's a challenge to be able to innovate constantly. Just when you think that you've got the right recipe, interest rates go up, or this happens, or that happens. And so you've got to be in that place of like really believing in an abundance mindset, because challenges just become opportunities. And they're like, okay, everything's always working out okay for me. I'm going to create success no matter what I do. And fortunately, that mindset has been what's guided me throughout my entire career. And then the last thing that I say from a strategy standpoint is that you must be creating energy. Like, most people just don't have the energy to live life at that extraordinary level. And it's because we aren't as intentional about energy creation.
Talking with the experts.
Welcome to Talking with the Experts, where we believe that success is a journey, and every journey is easier with help from friends. That's why we bring you top-notch experts and real business heroes eager to share their lessons from the road to success. We delve into new topics each week: effective marketing strategies, innovative problem-solving, financial planning, and team building. We tackle everything you need to know to grow your business and keep it thriving. Whether you dream about launching your first startup or a business veteran looking to shake things up, we've got you covered. With each episode, you'll gain knowledge, boost your confidence, and be inspired to take action. So, grab a coffee, make yourself comfortable, and join our exciting journey. You're not alone in this. We're here, guiding you, cheering for you, and celebrating each milestone. Let's turn your business dreams into reality, starting today. Here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. Talking with the Experts is all about business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. And today my guest is Kelly Resendez. Yes, that's correct. And she's from the US, and we're going to be discussing overcoming self-sabotage so you can grow your business and your wealth. Now, abundance blocks and how to remove them is a topic that is often spoken about, and Kelly's going to share with us her tips and techniques for doing that. And Kelly is the executive of GoodLeap, a multi-million-dollar company. She's a best-selling author and an influencer, and Kelly is a true leader in empowering women to live a life of abundance. Kelly, welcome to Talking with the Experts. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Rose. I'm excited to be here with you.
How did you begin your journey into becoming, building this great, huge business of GoodLeap?
Yeah, well, a few things. I started in the mortgage industry, and I definitely did well in the mortgage industry early on. I pretty much started directly while I was in college. And then over time, really just grew a pretty successful business in mortgage. And the founders of GoodLeap they also had a mortgage division, and they, brought me over, and I joined them about 13 years ago. So they had already been around for a long time at that point. And basically from there, just have had a really fun run growing and transitioning the company into what we are today. We're a financial technology company that is in the green energy space. And one of the coolest things about being a part of it is that they were always open to me having a lot of ands in my life. And so part of why I'm here is that I'm co-founder of a women's mastermind called GoBundance Women. And that's really where I get to, play in that space of helping other amazing business owners like yourself, live life to its fullest.
It's always very, very important. Women are still trying to catch up in the the earning space. There's still a disparity between what men earn and what women earn in the same roles in employment. So, I guess with what you do, you help women to, come up with the techniques that they can,
Yes.
bridge that gap, so to speak. So tell me a little bit about GoBundance Women and, what
Yeah.
does it offer?
So it's a mastermind community. So it's really just taking the collective wisdom of women all over the world and making sure that we give them a place that they can grow their business without sacrificing their relationship or their health. We get them connected with what we call a pod, which is a group of women, which I kind of say is that board of directors for your life, that they're the people that are really going to be able to support you when you've got big decisions, or you also want to celebrate. A lot of successful business owners that are female just feel like they would be bragging. They can't share some of those successes with the people around them. And being a part of a mastermind community gives you that safe space to be vulnerable, really show up, ask for help, do the things that you need to do to be able to take your life and your business to the next level.
Yeah, that's really important, I think, to people, for people to be able to share their ideas and what's working for them, what's not working for them, and get some feedback on some things that they may be doing, and is it right, is it wrong? I mean, there's no right or wrong as such, but
Right.
Is it of benefit, is it not benefiting them? But I'd like to explore a little bit about the strategies and tools that that inspire you to help women achieve all that they need.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to give you a smidge of my journey so that you can understand why I'm so passionate about this. So I was a classic overachiever. And, as I said, I was in the mortgage industry. I was in the top 1% of loan officers in the nation, in the US. And so I had really found a way to systemize and grow my business. All the while was pretty miserable inside. I was stressed. I was waking up in the middle of the night thinking about the Smith family. I was just constantly doing and really wasn't present. And I had what I would say is my awakening in 2004, where, my mom got diagnosed with dementia, and it really just shifted my entire life. And I started to recognize, what it meant to be present, what it meant to overcome some of the challenges that I'd had. And quite frankly, Rose, I lived to impress other people. Before that point, I was just constantly, focused on making sure that people knew how successful I was. And I really didn't even know who I was until that point. And since then, 20 years in personal growth and development, I have definitely used a lot of strategies. I've done a lot of healing, and I've never stopped growing. And it's something that I think once you get into, you get to that point where you want to share it with other people. And that's truly what I do, is just share some of those strategies to overcome some of the greatest ways that, leaders, especially female leaders, tend to sabotage themselves. And then also just kind of take out some of those blocks that might be under the surface. Many people don't even realize how powerful their subconscious mind is. And so for me, I've recognized that I've gotten where I am career-wise and being able to create some ands in my life, publishing books, speaking, doing other things while I'm still, doing everything that I do at GoodLeap. And it is definitely something that is a process, and it's one that I love sharing with people.
It's not a quick fix, that's for sure. There is a lot of self-work that needs to be done to achieve the things that you do. It's not like you can just put out a form or do something and hope that people come to you and think, this is a really great form.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're very lucky, that might happen, but on the norm, I guess, you put the form out, and it might take months.
Yeah.
To get your first client or your first purchaser or whatever. So, what are some of the tools, Kelly, that people use that can help them from that start thing where they know that they need to grow their abundance and to achieve all their goals along the way?
Yeah. So the first thing that I always say is the best place to start, which is not where most people start, is to really, really solidify the vision for how you want to feel in your life. So many people get stuck in a growing business, but they're miserable doing what they're doing. And if you start with how you want to feel, then you can create some actionable goals around that. And then I always say, and then create the mindset that is needed. Most people back into what they're doing. They have a mindset, they go out, and then they set their goals, and then they do the things. And I say, you got to start from the beginning, create the vision for how you want to feel, then create some actionable goals that are going to help get you there, and making sure that you're not creating outcomes. That's what some people get off track when they do goals. They put outcomes in. You got to make sure they're action oriented. And then the next part is just asking yourself, what do I need to believe for this to happen? And that's why I believe a lot of business owners fail, is that they're in scarcity to begin with. And as you know, it's a challenge to grow a business. It's a challenge to be able to innovate constantly. Just when you think that you've got the right recipe, interest rates go up, or this happens or that happens. And so you've got to be in that place of like really believing in an abundance mindset, because challenges just become opportunities. And they're like, okay, everything's always working out okay for me. I'm going to create success no matter what I do. And fortunately, that mindset has been what's guided me throughout my entire career. And then the last thing that I say from a strategy standpoint is that you must be creating energy. Like, most people just don't have the energy to live life at that extraordinary level. And it's because we aren't as intentional about energy creation. Am I sleeping enough? Am I taking care of my physical body? Am I surrounding myself with the right people that are bringing me energy rather than depleting me of energy? And so one of the strategies that I tell people that they should do is really an abundance audit. Is like, go through your day. Like, do you get energy from doing this? If you do, great. Let's keep doing more of it. If you don't, let's see if we can't delegate that along the way, or maybe even just remove it altogether. I definitely know that one of the challenges that many business owners face is just that role of being too busy, like too busy to grow, too busy to do the things that are going to get you to the next level. And we need to get away from that. Part of the energy is just, when I'm in my superpower, I'm on point. I'm on focus. I'm doing all the things that are really revenue generating that I should be doing. When I'm just busy, I'm stuck in email. I'm just solving lower level problems that maybe somebody else should. So that's kind of the 4-step process that I use to help guide people to really create that life that they want. And then beyond that, it is identifying, okay, now that I'm really clear how I want to feel, what goals I have, here's the beliefs. How do I identify? How do I really sabotage myself?
Yeah, self-sabotage is a big killer in doesn't matter whether it's business or in life. I am such
relationships, you name it.
I do that self-sabotage all the time. I, leaping to do something without thinking about the outcome at the end. And I'm not a great goal setter. I don't know. I've never been one, but everything seems to come out in the end. But it may take me longer than the next person. But the outcome is still achieved. In that roundabout way. So yes. That's just one of the things that I need to work through to get better at. I guess is setting up strategies and those goals.
And what I'd say with that, Rose, like, I've done it all. I've done the hyper, attentive to goal planning. I've done no goal planning, just being more mindful and trusting. And I've really found that better recipe of like, you know what? I do goals around how I want to feel now rather than just what I want to do. And that's really the biggest shift, is that when you really put more emphasis on how you want to feel, everything falls into place so that you have more energy to do other things. And, being a speaker and coach for so many years, you could just about beat your head against the wall for why people don't do anything with all of the information that's out there. We look back just 25 years ago, we still would have needed to go somewhere to get the resources that we have at our fingertips today. We wouldn't have been able to go to YouTube and find amazing shows like yours that you can hear the experts talk. You would have had to have maybe bought a cassette. I mean, we've all remembered like the old Tony Robbins, big cassette thing on getting through personal growth. And we've changed so much, and we know information is not the key. Like, we need to understand neuroscience. And that's part of what I did was I went and studied, neuroscience and psychology so that I could understand why aren't people actually taking action. It's just our brain needs crystal clear directions, or it just goes rogue. Like it's just going to do what it wants to do whenever it wants to do it. And so we've got to give it the beliefs, we've got to give it the goals and the strategy in order for it to know what it should focus on.
I agree with those sentiments exactly. I think you do have to have a belief system in place that you need to believe that you can do something that is going to make things better. If you believe that you're not going to achieve this particular goal or this particular thing, widget, whatever it is that you want, you're not going to get it, because the world is energy. And if you're putting out negative energy for everything, then you're not going to get anything. You're going to get what you put out. So if you put out positivity, you're going to get positivity back.
Yeah. Well, most unhappy people think that happy people are happy because their life circumstances are different. And that's just simply not true. I have just as many challenges as the next person. And it's the way that I experience life that's different. I am someone that really focuses on what's satisfactory. If there's a challenge, I look at it as like, what's good about this? What can I, what's my next best step to be able to get through it? And it really is just a choice. So it's like, if you're going to choose, I'm going to choose to be unhappy, which is what your brain's, natural state is, or I'm going to rewire myself to really just be in this state of happiness. And so once you choose that for yourself, it is, I'm going to just share just a couple of those top ways that leaders sabotage themselves, because they're just simple shifts in what you do. I mean, there's a myriad of ways that we can sabotage ourselves, from procrastination to a lack of self-worth to perfectionism. I'm not going to go into those. Those are all things that I definitely recommend that you work through if you're struggling with them. But I'm going to land on a few big ones that business owners out there. So the first one is just believing you have to do everything alone, and not being in a place where you really know how to ask for help. That was my superpower. I'm a super connector. I'm always like, what do you need, Rose? Like, who's the next best connection that might change your life? Like, what does that look like? And then, of course, I'm going to say, you know what, Rose? I really need your help. Like, I'm looking for like-minded, ambitious female entrepreneurs that really want a little bit more accountability in their life so that they can scale their business without sacrifice. Do you know anyone like that, Rose? Like, really being able to articulate what is the biggest thing that you need help for. And that is it's just so important. Like, too many business owners think that they're supposed to have it all figured out. Well, if I know somebody, rather than you spending so much time trying to find that next best person, like, why wouldn't I just connect you? Or if you're in this business and I know somebody in that business, why wouldn't I introduce you? You probably have had the same challenges. And so really being in that place where you have this flow of giving and receiving. And most of us don't receive well. We give, and then most of us resent. And then that flow is disrupted, where it's like, I've got to give as much as I receive. And that's really an important one.
Oh, yeah, that is huge. That is absolutely huge. I have had some really deep emotional challenges this last year. And I finally asked for help to get through them. And so by taking it step by step and just doing and completing one step through that journey of getting to where I need to be, it's taken a huge weight off my shoulders. It's like, and my mood has even shifted, because I'm not alone anymore. And it is so in whatever area of your life that is, you're challenged with, is to reach out and ask for that help and make that connection with somebody, because women are predominantly givers, and we're taught and even now in modern times, we're still not taught how to receive well, because it's thought to be selfish and self-indulgent and all of those things. And it is a big challenge for women, especially to reach out that hand, because we are expected to be able to do it all and to know it all and just be there. And reaching out is really, really important.
Absolutely. And Rose, I just have to commend you for your courage to just say what you just said. If more people were honest about suffering that they were enduring in whatever area of their life, and they did ask for help, they would pull themselves out of that isolation, and they would be in a place where it is all of our mental health is just, it's millimeters away. I just watched the movie Brain on Fire last night. And, you just think about like, what are all the potentials there where people can be struggling, and no one knows what's going on. And I have intimate, I have a family member who is in a mental institution now. And, my sister was a beautiful, successful woman, but just that 1 millimeter didn't ask for help, didn't take care of herself. And next thing you know, just catastrophe happens. So many business owners aren't sleeping. They're not taking care of themselves. And it's such an important message that needs to be shared, is that just like you should have a general practitioner, you should have a mental health person at the same time. Like, and it's just something that we need to really change in the world today. So like asking for help, amazing, great skill that you really want to work on. And so think about everyone that's listening. What is like one thing that you can ask for every conversation that you have? Like, what's that perfect avatar for your business? What's the need that your business would have that gets it to the next level? And just keep asking for help. The second way that I really noticed that a lot of business owners, fail to kind of get to the next level is they stop developing their leadership skills. They stop investing in becoming a better version of themselves. And what happens, it's just so easy to fall back. Like our emotional intelligence, our communication skills, our understanding of humans and whatnot should just be a full-time, part of our life. And really just making sure that you're up leveling your leadership skills. And that's one of the things that we do in GoBundance Women is, we take you through a course to make sure that you're constantly in that place where you're up leveling your leadership skills. And then the last piece that I'd say that I really notice a lot of people that sabotage themselves is they don't recognize the power of proximity. They don't surround themselves with like-minded people with shared interest or, just mutual ideas that make them feel so much more empowered. As much as I have self-confidence, I also want to know, Rose, like, hey, you're doing a great job. Like you're made for this. Like you're making a massive impact in the world. And unfortunately, a lot of times our friendships can't provide that. And it's not because anyone has malice or anything. I love all my friends. They just don't have the same, they've known me forever. They just don't see it the same way as me. Like I want that group of people that's going to say, like, what's next? Oh my gosh, life is open to infinite possibilities. How can I support you? Who can I connect you with? Rather than, oh my gosh, Kelly, you're taking on one more thing. Like, what's going on? Like, are you ever going to stop? Like, no, like for me, my purpose is to increase joy and reduce self-suffering. And I'm not going to stop doing that. It is what lights me up on a daily basis. And it's just an important part of what I do. So you do need to find a community of like-minded people that you really feel can hold you accountable. I always say, and I got the opportunity to speak in front of about, I guess it was probably about 60 to 70 high school junior and seniors in their entrepreneur class today. And one of the things that I shared with them that I'm like, I wish that I would have known back then is there is a 5-year-old in all of us that says, I'm going to do what I want to do whenever I want to do it. And I need accountability for that. I need accountability of like, hey, you really set these intentions for yourself. What's going on? Like, what's holding you back? Like, is this really a priority? Is it not? Like, what's going on? Or are you just, setting goals for yourself and then not doing them, which creates shame. It creates guilt. We don't feel great about ourselves when we do that. And we got to break that cycle too.
Yeah, I agree about, I've got my business partner in the social enterprise that we run. Her thing is, proximity is power.
Yes.
And she, she's just an amazing. She's a public speaker, and she talks about mind shift, which is a
Yes.
different mindset. You
Yes.
set your mind to do something, but she wants to shift people's minds. So yeah, she's a wonderful thing, and she just keeps saying to me,
Awesome.
"Rose, proximity is power."
Yes.
And the sooner we all as a collective, remember that, and become into those networking, don't have to be one person, doesn't have to be a whole group of people.
No. Yeah. Whatever it is, it could be one person. Because when you think about it, we've heard that adage of you're as successful as the 5 closest people to you. For those of us that have children, they make up a few of them, right? And a lot of times they're like, I always say they're narcissistic little suckers for a long period of time. I love them. I love my kids. They're 19 and 21, absolute blessings in my life. But at the same time, they do take a lot. And so when you think about that, you do need to offset it. Like, where's a safe space to really just be vulnerable and share some of these things that might be going on in your life? We of course have partners. I love my sweetheart, Kent. I can share these things with him, but there is that difference having a community. And for me, it's that community of women that I've really, found to really support me.
I agree with everything about that. That's a great way to live one's life. Now, I'd like to talk, Kelly, a little bit about your book, The Big Voices.
Yeah. So that was definitely a book that I wrote to go on my own healing journey. As I shared, my sister had some challenges, and it was a way that I could really make sure that some of the strategies that I used to get through some of the things that we did were shared with other women as well. And so, like I said, I want to help people increase joy and reduce self-suffering. And so I share some strategies in there that, I look back, and since then, I actually can report that I don't need some of those strategies now. I've actually done some of the deeper healing that has removed some of the things. One of the chapters I wrote in there was on loneliness. That's not something that I need anymore. It was something that I needed in that season of my life. And since then found my life partner, and of course, a mastermind community too has helped. But, it was a long, I will say, just a long way that I had to be able to get out a lot of what I had gone through in my life, having a sister that really struggled. Sometimes we have siblings and I love her, but it was constant. It was my whole life that I had to deal with some of the things that we did. And then there was a lot of, there was a lot of awareness that came to it. Just because she wasn't pouring as much into herself, I poured even more into who I was being, so I could be there for my parents. I could be there for, the people that needed me in my life.
Yeah. I'm sort of in the same position. I'm a full-time carer for my husband who has Alzheimer's. So it's a real challenge for me to try and find that me time where, I can get away from and just, regenerate. And that's something that I haven't been doing for the past few years. And having reached out for that help, it's helped me to realize that there are places and things that I can do on a personal level that can take me away from the challenges and the darkness of having to care for someone.
Absolutely. My mom had dementia. That's really what started my awakening in 2004, and being one of her primary caretakers for a long period of time. I've become very passionate about brain health and very passionate about helping and supporting those people, because caretakers don't realize, it is just it is one of the most challenging things that you'll ever do. It's more challenging than raising small children, because you have a full-size adult that's very powerful, and if they're not wanting to work with you. And so at the top of the list must be you. No matter what, it always has to start with you. You're the number one priority, your emotional and physical well-being. And so congrats to you that you are definitely making that effort.
Yeah, carers need carers, and we don't think about that, but it really is important, as you say, that we look after ourselves, because if we're not healthy and well, and and in the right frame of mind, we can't care for others.
Absolutely.
At a high level, we
Absolutely.
become just a dark space.
Yeah. And what we know to be true about dementia and Alzheimer's and some of the other neurological, things that can happen is you must keep inflammation low. You must take care of your brain health, and sleep is number one. Like number two, reduce inflammation. Make sure that you really are taking care of yourself, and then, go the distance. Like really, my mom got diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and over a period of time, I realized like my mom does not have Alzheimer's. What I didn't know is they weren't really scanning people. My mom had a rare form of dementia. And so it was, there's differences between different, types of forms like that. And so you have to really be an advocate too, and understanding really what's going on. And, hopefully most people that are listening, you're going to put yourself first, no matter what situation you're in, so that you don't get depleted. And you make sure that you can do all of the things. I mean, congrats to you. You're still doing this and making a big impact in the world, and sharing your love with him too. But it is a tough road for sure.
Thank you, Kelly. It's lovely to hear, because we don't often get the thank yous that we need to say, yes, hey, you're doing a good job, it's
Yes.
okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and we've got a little bit off topic, but I guess it's still how to advance and get more abundance in your life by looking after yourself.
Yes.
Primarily, because if you don't do that, even if you're in a personal level or in a you own a business or you work, even if you're working for somebody else, if you don't look after yourself, you can't find that abundance, because you have to seek the abundance in yourself first and nurture that before that you can share that with anyone else.
100%.
Kelly, people can find you on Instagram and on Facebook. Is there anywhere else they can find you?
Absolutely. I have got a 3-part series for you that you can listen to. If you just go to www.downloadthepod.com, that's a great place just to be able to connect and listen to. You may go a little bit deeper on overcoming some of those top ways that you sabotage yourself. So, you'll be able to find out everything there too, but definitely find me on Instagram, Facebook, but go to downloadthepod.com and have that special, 3-part series for you.
Wonderful, Kelly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you.
Awesome.
I look forward to talking to you again really soon.
You too, Rose, and many, many prayers for you. I'm sending you all sorts of goodness across the ocean. So
thank you so much. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.